Okay, this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS certified cloud practitioner exam practice questions, and we are covering all the questions from the examtopics.com website. So let's try to cover next 20 to 25 questions. I think this is the last set from this website. So which AWS service provides a feature that can be used to proactively monitor and plan for the service quota of the AWS resources? So who can monitor the service quota of the AWS resources? Is it CloudTrail, CloudWatch, Trusted Advisor, Personal Health Dashboard? So Personal Health Dashboard is totally wrong. So it just will tell you that which service are going to impact it because of some outage. CloudTrail is just the API who has accessed something. CloudWatch is to store the logs and to create the metrics, to create the alarms. AWS Trusted Advisor. So Trusted Advisor is one of the service which can be give you some kind of recommendation using the performance, using the security. Along with that, it monitors the service quota. So the question is, who can monitor the service quota? So Trusted Advisor. So option is C. So if we go, if someone gives some link, let me check if someone has some link. If I open this link, and here if you read, AWS Trusted Advisor provides a recommendation that helps you follow AWS best practice. Trusted Advisor evaluates your account by using checks. These checks identify where to optimize your infrastructure regarding the security, performance, cost, and monitor service quota. So they have asked this question. So which service will monitor your service quota is the AWS Trusted Advisor. Which of the following is an advantage that user experience when they move from on-premise to the AWS? So what could be the advantage if we move from on-premise to the AWS cloud? Elimination of expensive of maintaining data center. So definitely correct. So now we don't need to maintain the data center. A is correct. Price discounted. So I think one option we need to select. So A is correct. Which design principle is included in the operational excellence pillar of the AWS architect framework? So when we create some resource, so basically there are 6 AWS architect framework pillar. So these are the design principle. Design principle means whenever we have to do anything on the AWS, so it is generally recommended to follow these guidelines. These are the best practices, you can say. So operational excellence means when you are trying to perform any kind of operations, like maybe spinning up some EC2 instance, creating some microservices, so what are the design principles? Under the operational excellence, under the operational excellence, one option is, instead of creating the manual resources, you should use the cloud formation template. So this is one of the design principle under the operational excellence. So create annotated documentation. So they said that create the documentation. No. Anticipate failure. This is correct. Ensure performance is nothing. Performance is a different pillar. Nothing related to the operations. Optimal cost is also the different pillar. So C and D eliminated. First is also wrong. So only and only option is anticipate a failure. So anticipate failure means whenever you're trying to spin up some resources, so make sure, just keep in mind that the failure can be happen, so you need to design in such a way. So option B is correct. So if I open this link, so this is the operation excellence pillar, and operation excellence pillar, there are 5 design principles under the operation excellence. So one of the option is the anticipate failure. So perform pre-mortem exercise to identify potential resources of failure so that can be removed or migrated. So test your failure scenario. So basically, if you are spinning up some like some perform operation as a code. So instead of manually deploying any resources, use the cloud formation. Always make frequent small changes rather than do a one change in a single go. Right. So all these some are the best practices. So one of the best practices is the anticipate failure. So test your operation by giving some workload. Okay, so our anticipate failure is the correct answer. Which AWS service always which AWS services offer gateway VPC endpoint that can be used to avoid sending traffic over the internet? So which service will not send the traffic over the internet? All right. So gateway, there are only two options like Amazon S3 and the DynamoDB. So these are the correct rest or the wrong option. So if I show you some link, so this link I think. So gateway endpoint provide reliable connectivity to Amazon S3 and DynamoDB. So only there are two things and options are only two and three, Amazon S3 and DynamoDB without requiring an internet gateway. When the question also said we don't want the internet. So internet gateway means like if we want to connect with the internet, we need the internet gateway. So we don't need the internet gateway. So we can directly connect with the gateway endpoints or the even we don't need the net device for the VPC gateway endpoint do not even enable AWS private link. So Amazon S3 and the DynamoDB is the correct answer. Which of the following is the customer responsibility? So what is the customer responsibility for updating and patching according to the AWS? So Amazon FSx window file server. So is this the customer responsibility? No. Amazon workspace virtual window desktop. So yes. RDS is like fully managed. So is the AWS responsibility. AWS directory service. So they are going to store our like user in their directory. So it is their responsibility. If we go with the elimination method, so this option is left like Amazon workspace virtual window desktop. So this is the correct answer. So even if you go with this link, so these are the Amazon workspace and Amazon workspace is the update management in the workspace. So we recommend that you regularly patch, update, secure. So this is like we can do that. And first we need to know what is Amazon workspace. So Amazon workspace you can create your own workspace. Basically you can like launch the virtual desktop. So launch a virtual desktop using the workspace. So launch a virtual desktop using the workspace. So this is the Amazon workspace. Okay, so to the patching and upgrading is our responsibility. So next question. Who has the responsibility to patch the host operating system? So one is the guest operating system, one is the host operating. Host means like your EC2 is is running on some server. So that server is your host. So who will update that operating system? So that is the customer. Sorry, that will the AWS will update because we don't have the access to the server. So AWS only. So option D is the correct answer. So they said B, but option D is the correct answer. If they said guest operating system, then B is the correct answer. But now they said host, so D is the correct answer. Even most of the people say D. A company is using an Amazon RDS DB instance for an application that deploys in the AWS cloud. So there's the Amazon RDS. Okay. The company needs regular patching of the operating system of the server where the DB instance run. What is the company responsibility? Okay, so generally if we read the question Amazon RD, so Amazon RD is fully managed. So the patching will be done by the AWS. The patching will not be done by the customer. All right, but they said that what is the company responsibility to perform to needs the regular patching. So here the responsibility is whenever you create the RDS DB instance, so there are some like properties or some configuration settings at there you can mention at what time like over the weekend like if the AWS has to perform the patches upgrade they can do the over the weekend for my RDS AWS instance. So we have to mention that, but the patch will be updated by them, but we need to mention that. So open a support case, no. Open a support case, no. Use administrative access to the server and apply, so no, we can't apply the patching. Established a regular maintenance window. So regular maintenance window means just we need to mention, okay, this is the window, and we need to which will tell the AWS when to patch the DB instance. So D is the correct answer. So they said B, but D is the correct answer. So most of the people say D. So if I show you, so here basically like whenever we are creating the database, so we need to mention, okay, so this is the window when we need to like when we want so maintenance and backup, so we can set the maintenance window. Okay, if like AWS has to patch. I am setting my maintenance windows. Our maintenance windows in Monday 11:28 to 11:58, so they can do the maintenance. If they want to do, they can only do within this timestamp. Otherwise, our application might impact. What is AWS well architect review? A critical part of the cloud design process. Okay, why? Sorry, why is an AWS well architect review a critical part of the cloud design process? So they said that like why we need to basically follow this well architect framework, and why it is important, why it is critical, related to the cloud design. A well architect review is mandatory. No, it is not mandatory. If you want to follow, you follow. Otherwise, don't follow. A well architected review helps identify design gaps and helps evaluate design decisions. So yes, it will, if you follow the best practices, it will help you to identify the design gaps. A well architected review is an audit mechanism. No. A well architected review eliminates the need for ongoing auditing. No, audit will definitely going to happen. So only it will identify the design gaps if you follow that the design process. So B is the correct answer. A company implements an Amazon EC2 auto scaling policy along with the load balancer to automatically recover. So the application is getting automatically recovered. So which property is it? That's the reliability. So it is application is reliable. It is getting automatically recover. So option D is the correct answer. Which AWS cloud benefit is shown by an architect ability to withstand failure with minimal downtime? So withstand failure with minimal downtime means downtime is minimal, and so it means application is highly available. So application is highly available. So D is correct. Okay, next question. Under the AWS shared responsibility model, which task is the customer responsibility when managing AWS Lambda? So Lambda is a serverless service. So what is the customer responsibility? Creating version of Lambda function. Yes. So we are creating the Lambda function. So whenever we push the code, it creates first version, and push the second code, it creates the second version. So creating the version or maintaining the version, it's our responsibility. It's not the AWS. So A is the correct answer. Maintaining server, no, because it is serverless. Scaling Lambda, no. If it use more power, it will automatically scale. Updating the Lambda runtime environment, no. So they will maintain. So only A is the correct answer. What does the AWS concrete support? So that is the support teams provide. So concrete support, I think it's under the enterprise support plan. But what does this mean? A technical expert, so no, not a technical, a primary point of contact for AWS support and billing. It is a support. So we will get a primary point of contact for billing and support. A partner to scaling guiding event launch, no. A dedicated staff member who will review your application, no. Only the support will be happen and a particular point of contact will be given. So B is correct. They said A, but B is correct. A company needs to generate reports that can break down cloud cost by product, by company tax, by hour, day, and month. Which AWS tool can meet this? So they are generally like to generate a report and with like my granular report by product, by company tax. So which tool they can use? Budget is just for the alert, plan utilization, no. Reserved is not totally wrong. So only the AWS cost and usage report. So D is the correct answer. A company has a serverless application that indicates an Amazon API, Gateway API, AWS Lambda function, Amazon DB database. Which AWS service can the company use to trace user request as they move through the application component? So let's suppose there is a serverless application. An application, that application consists of multiple services, APIs, Lambda, DynamoDB. Then we want to trace like how the request is going, the application component. So to trace, we have the X-ray. So we can go with the Amazon X-ray. CloudWatch to store the log, Inspector is for the security assessment, CloudTrail is we can see who has hit this API, who has hit this API. But if we want to trace our application component, then for that the AWS X-ray. So some people say 57% people say A, but A, as per my knowledge, A is wrong because they said the application component, not the AWS components. If there is a AWS component, there's a CloudTrail, but if our application component, we have the X-ray. So D is correct. A company need to set up a petabytes data warehouse. So they want to set up the data warehouse. So we have the Redshift. So Redshift is the data warehouse. So C is correct. Which AWS service is always provided at no charge? So IM is a free service. So IM is correct. A company need to design an AWS disaster recovery plan to cover multiple geographic areas. So they want to design the disaster recovery, but it should cover the multiple geographic areas. So how they will meet this requirement? So create different AWS account? No. Configure the architecture across multiple zones, but in the same region. If it is same region, then it is not a multiple geographic. So the region should be different because the questions are multiple geographic. So configure the architecture across multiple AWS. So this looks correct. So option C looks correct. Which of the following is the benefit of moving from on-premises to the AWS cloud? Compute instance can be launched and terminated as needed to optimize cost. So totally correct. We can launch or terminate and to save the cost anytime. That is the benefit to move into the cloud. Compute instance can be, so A is correct. Uh, but some people say B is wrong. Why B is wrong? So B is no wrong the part. But A is correct. B is not correct. In which ways does the AWS cloud offer lower total cost of ownership of computing resources than an on-premise data center? So we need to choose two options. So how the cost is less when we move to the AWS cloud as compared to data center. AWS replaces upfront capital expenditure with pay-as-you-go cost. AWS is designed for high availability, so nothing related to the cost. AWS eliminate the need, so wrong. Uh, we are not like doing the staff reduction. C is totally wrong. AWS use economics of scale, so that is correct. AWS offer a single price model for single price, so wrong. So D is correct and A is correct. So the pay as you go cost. So A and D looks okay to me. So A and D has the most afforded. So A and D are correct. Which AWS service monitor AWS account for security threats? For security threats, a guard duty. So A is correct. Okay, next question. Which benefit is included in the AWS enterprise support plan? So if you look at the option, there is a TAM. That's a technical account manager, and technical account manager only and only allocated in the enterprise support plan. So B is the correct answer. Which task does AWS perform automatically? Encrypt the data stored in the Amazon DynamoDB, patch Amazon EC2 instance, encrypt user network traffic. So our traffic. So if we are sending, they are not going to encrypt our traffic. Create TLS certificate? No. If I want to run the HTTP website, why they will create the TLS certificate? So D wrong, C wrong. Patch Amazon EC2 instance? No. We have to patch. So encrypt data that is stored in the Amazon DynamoDB. So Amazon DynamoDB, so they will encrypt the data. So A looks correct. So if we go to some link, so DynamoDB encryption at rest. So all user data stored in the Amazon DynamoDB is fully encrypted at rest. So AWS is doing that. Which AWS service or tool can a company use to visualize, understand, and spending? So if there is a visualize, only one option is their Cost Explorer. So Cost Explorer is a service in which you can see the cost, but in a visualized way. So C is the correct answer. A company wants to deploy some of its resources on AWS cloud. To meet regulatory requirements, the data must remain local and on premises. So there must be low latency between AWS and the company resources. Which AWS service or feature can meet the requirement? So they can use the outpost. So outpost is for the hybrid work. So if they want to use the AWS services on their own premises local, then they can use the outpost. The same thing they want. Their data must remain local and on premises and the latency should be low. So C is correct. They said A is not correct, C is correct because the most people voted for the AC. A company requires an isolated environment within AWS for security purpose. So they want some isolated environment. Which action take? So if they want isolated environment, we can create a VPC, I think. Create a separate availability zone, wrong. Create a separate VPC, correct. Create a placement group, no. Create a direct connection. Direct connection is for the on premises to the cloud, nothing related with the on premises. D is totally wrong. So create a separate VPC is correct because we can create a VPC, so it will like isolate from the other thing. So B looks correct. So B is correct. Let's see what people say. So people say like B is there. B is correct. So let's do the next question. So now like maybe this website has maybe 300 questions, but only 145 questions are like free, which are available to us. And maybe like they said we have to pay them. If we want to see the next question, we don't want to see the next question, it's okay. If you want to see, you can get the contributor access. Maybe they will ask some fees and you can apply this code. They will get you some discount, and then you will able to see the next question. So that's it. Thank you.